Shedeur Sanders arrived in the national spotlight with immense expectations. As the son of Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, he inherited a name synonymous with excellence, swagger, and football royalty. From the moment he stepped onto the field at Jackson State and later at Colorado, rash commentary filled divided along lines of loyalty and skepticism. When his father was hired at Jackson State, the world watched as Deion rebuilt a struggling program and, despite whispers of nepotism, lead Jackson State to national attention. And he even found himself ousted from Saturday Night Live due to comments deemed offensive. Instead of backing down, he kept pushing forward, often intensifying his comedic style. One trending meme captured a gif of a quarterback silently staring into the distance, labeled "When they retire your jersey before your career even starts." That silence fueled more speculation. Analysts wondered if strategic restraint was at play. Instead of rushing into defense, maybe they'd let Shedeur's next performance on the field speak louder than any words. It sparked an online debate that will likely follow Shedeur throughout his career. It's a reminder that even surrounded by greatness, respect and credibility must still be earned. And it's a reminder that in the age of social media, a comedian's joke can shape a narrative faster than a winning streak. As Shedeur moves into this next chapter, the pressure ramps up. But so does opportunity. The roast might go down in memory as the moment that galvanized a young quarterback, challenging him to prove that his jersey was more than a nameplate. It belonged on him. He's now at a crossroads. Embrace the narrative that he is riding coattails and risk being defined by controversy, or shut it down with execution on the field, proving that every yard, every throw, every late-game drive was earned, not gifted, and whether that plays out in the stadium, the locker room, or the highlight reels. The story is just beginning. In the NFL's fast-paced media landscape, silence can be a weapon, and sometimes better than litigation and letting critics eat their words when the player continues to perform. It also raised an unspoken possibility that Shedeur, mature beyond his years, had already moved past the moment, focusing on the season ahead rather than on viral headlines. Another post featured Deion smiling proudly, captioned, "Father of the Year," or enabler. For the Browns, who selected Shedeur as part of their long-term QB development plan, the episode is both inconvenient and illuminating. It revealed a narrative that can be overlooked, one that underscores the delicate balance between talent and hype, progress and privilege. If Shedeur is to blossom at the next level, he'll have to answer the roast in his own way. Not with clever replies or social media defense, but with field performance, consistency, leadership, and resilience. And that struggle, that challenge, is now openly defined. What started as a roast became a cultural moment, one that forced a public reckoning of patronage, performance, and symbolism. Everyone had an opinion, and everyone made it known. Within hours, SBI coverage shifted from awards and highlights to dissecting the Gillis Shedeur roast and asking bigger questions about celebrity, lineage, and deservedness in sports. He became a master of provocation, and this moment at the SBS fit that mold perfectly. A comedic ambush wrapped in a red carpet moment. The timing was impeccable, the hit ruthless. For those who follow stand-up, Gillis isn't just delivering jokes, he's issuing commentary. And this roast hit deeper than a punchline. It tapped into ongoing tension about privilege, hype, and whether NFL dynasties are built or bought. When they both moved to Colorado, he didn't just follow his dad, he took the reins, posting one of the best seasons in Buffalo's history. That included school records and awards that, to many, justified that retired jersey. Even at his young age, there's no denying the pedigree, but pedigree isn't destiny. And that's what Gillis exploited. He highlighted the awkwardness of blending legacy with individual merit, calling into question whether the ceremony elevated Shedeur or his famous lineage. Some defended Gillis, saying he had said what everyone was thinking, questioning if Shedeur's jersey-raising ceremony had come too soon. They called it a funny, even necessary, jolt of reality. Talk shows, podcasts, and even sports analysts joined the conversation. Some labeled Gillis' job a reality check designed to ground both Shedeur and his supporters. Others saw it as a throwback to outdated standards, punishing a young quarterback for being celebrated too early. Yet others took a different perspective entirely. They acknowledged Shedeur's stats, but questioned whether those numbers alone should merit such a public tribute. Football greatness isn't built in a single season, they argued, suggesting it should be earned over the span of a career. Behind all of this, the lingering question remained: should legacy be measured in games or years? Others cried foul, accusing Shane of biting the hand that welcomed Shedeur so early into the public eye. They argued that Shedeur's performance on the field, including over 3,200 passing yards and 27 touchdowns in the 2023 season alone, more than justified early praise. In a matter of hours, the commentary reached a fever pitch. Was Shedeur a fast-track product of Deion's fame, Or a young quarterback earning his stripes well ahead of schedule? Critics and fans alike began to wonder if he possessed the same elite qualities that made Deion one of the greatest athletes in football history. Suddenly, Shedeur's journey had stakes that went well beyond stats. It was about legacy, family, and whether he could weather the added pressures that come with being a Sanders in the digital age. Enter the ESPY Awards, a ceremony known not only for celebrating athletic triumphs, but also for delivering brutal roast moments. Comedy sharp enough to cut into the toughest egos. This year, comedian Gillis seized the stage with one target in mind: Shedeur Sanders. Gillis didn't hold back. In the opening moments of his monologue, he turned the spotlight on Shedeur's retired jersey at the University of Colorado, a tribute typically reserved for legends with decades of achievement and impact. Shane quipped that the ceremony felt more like nepotism in the 21st century, implying the tribute was premature and fueled by Deion's star power rather than Shedeur's individual accomplishments. It wasn't just a joke. It was a torch being thrown, and it landed directly in the heart of one of football's most scrutinized young quarterbacks. That single line, branded as the greatest act of nepotism of the century, electrified the room. Laughter followed, but the tone of that laughter echoed more like shock than agreement, the type of reaction that lingers long after the applause. No sooner had the microphone been put down than the tweet engine spun into overdrive. Amid the uproar, it's essential to look back at Shedeur's history. But who is Gillis anyway? The comedian cut his teeth in edgy material, walked the razor's edge on controversy. Then, the reactions started to trickle in from outside typical football domains. On social media, fans shared memes and reaction clips. In response to the firestorm, neither Shedeur nor Deion released an immediate statement. But the roast left more than just buzz. It left questions with real implications. At the end of the day, the roast wasn't just about one poor line. It was a catalyst. For fans of football and followers of the Sanders legacy, this roast is a wake-up call.